Welcome to the Auer Team Podcast, powered by eXp Realty. Are you an agent looking to level up? Are you someone looking to buy or sell real estate? Fantastic. This is the show for you.
All right, so welcome back to the Auer Team Podcast. I have a special guest today. Very short notice, actually no notice at all. We just did a video and a photo shoot in 3D together. And just on a whim, I said, hey, you want to come to the studio? Let's do a podcast. And he said, yeah. You said yes.
Yes.
I can't believe you said yes on such short notice. But I'm very thankful you did, because I think it's a very important part of real estate when you think about media.
Yep.
And you think about marketing a home and getting it out there in a way that's really professional. I mean, the iPhones these days, they do a good job, right? But not good enough.
Yeah, not good enough. Outside exterior quality, I think, is pretty good for it, but interior, I just
no. And even all the technology that those phones and like iPhones and the Androids and stuff, they offer so much in tech. It's still never going to be. Well, I'm not going to say never, but it's still not at what a professional photographer, videographer, 3D technician can do.
Right.
And that's where you come in. So just a little bit of background. I've known Jason now for, it feels like 5 years, 6 years?
2017.
Yeah, okay.
So coming up 5.5 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
He worked on my team as a marketing director, actually, for a while. We gave you that title. Felt good, didn't it? Yeah. Right? Come on.
For once, yeah.
For once,
title.
For once, title mattered to you, and it felt really good. And so what he wanted to do is just come alongside me and just really do what I was doing. I wasn't doing photos, but I was doing video.
Yep.
And that was where your heart was. You wanted to do a lot more videos. So we don't need to get into all the nitty-gritty of that, but in a sense, I kind of took you under my wing a little bit and showed you what I do, how to do this kind of thing. And now you're crushing it. You're doing a lot of really cool things. I like the freedom that I have with you, because where I came from doing all of, I do a ton of video on my team anyway.
Right.
So I like being able to take clips that you do and either re-edit them or repurpose them. I can, cut them up and do my thing with them. But a lot of agents aren't going to do that. No, they need to know that they're hiring you, and you're going to do such a good job that you can just deliver this product and they can say, oh, yes, it's done. My clients are going to love this. So that's what I really wanted to talk about it. What do you offer? Who are you? And introduce yourself and all of that stuff. I mean, let's go there.
Okay, let's dive in. My name is Jason Abadie. My company name is Premier Media Co. And so right now I offer photos, video, 3D Matterport, some virtual staging too, if people are interested. Just kind of depends what people are looking for.
Yeah.
And then like promotional videos, and then I also do like wedding videos too on the side. So
wow.
So
Weddings.
just throw that out there.
Throwing that out there just in case somebody wants to sell their house and
have a wedding.
Have a wedding. Yeah. Oh, that's very cool. How many weddings have you done? I know you did
5.
one for Randy.
Yeah.
I saw that one. That was beautiful.
4 or 5 now.
Wow.
So
very
and
cool.
I have two or three set for already next year.
Yeah.
So
I think it's important that you do that kind of thing, because it actually makes you more creative in when you're shooting a video of a house.
Yep.
An inanimate object that's not really doing anything but just staying there.
Yeah.
At least it's not like, trying to herd cats when you're trying to, get all these kids together and stuff and,
Right.
and shoot a video or photos. So in that respect, it's easier because it's just there.
Right.
But it's hard to tell a story, isn't it? When you're trying to shoot a house in a way that's like, tells a story. That's the whole point of it.
Right.
And if you're shooting outside of real estate, you're shooting, weddings and special events and things like that. I've done several special events just for fun. Didn't charge for them. It was just friends of mine, things like that. I did that video for Hookup Baits.
Yep.
That was a great.
It's
It's
great
a
video.
Yeah, it's a fishing bait that works really well. We just did a podcast with them too.
Cool.
And I shot that one, and it was pretty cool. But I did it because I just wanted to push myself as a videographer.
Yeah.
But I think that's good that you're doing things that are outside of the real estate space, because it's going to make you better at real estate too.
Right. Yeah. And I think especially with like the market changing and everything too, having different avenues of being able to do other stuff is a good thing. Like the other day I did photos of a RV.
Yeah,
motorhome.
Was that for Jim Reeder? Yeah. Thank you. You're welcome for that referral.
So it was really cool though to do something a little different. He was blown away. He was like, "Wow, okay."
Yeah.
And then I did something for Joe DeQuino, right?
Yes.
I did something for his new company called All Dry.
I spar with him all the time
do.
on Facebook. He probably thinks I'm a jerk, but I'm just having fun with him. Joe, if you're listening, I love you, brother. You know I do.
Oh, he's a great guy. But he has a new company called All Dry. It's like a restoration for your home.
Yeah.
So I did photos of like his van and like his worker and everything. So
very cool.
And he was blown away with it. So.
Love it. Yeah, if you're good at what you can do, you can insert those services into all kinds of different products. I mean, because really that's what you are, and that's why I like that you called your company. I like the word that you have media in there, not just video or not just photos or whatever, because that's really what you are. You're a media specialist. Somebody wants something for a short on YouTube, you can create that out of what you're doing. If they want it for a reel or a full-length video that they're going to put on YouTube.
Yeah. Photos,
3D, all of that. It's important to have those things in your tool belt. Yeah. So let's talk about, this is more of a real estate show. This is the Auer Team Podcast. Right. So I want to focus a little bit on that. So,
yeah.
One of the things we have to do, and you've known me long enough to this is really up my alley. Yep. I think every home has a story to tell. I think if you're a marketer and you call yourself a listing agent, you should, at the very least, do the best you can to market that home, get it out there, and use a ton of different systems and I'll just say avenues, to get it out there.
Yep.
You've got social media, of course. You've got YouTube. You have the MLS. You can build landing pages. You can do all kinds of things. Click funnels. An incredible amount of things you can do to drive traffic to that home through the media that you produce. So to me, it's really, really important to have video.
Absolutely.
I think it's. I don't think it's ever going to be more important than the photos that somebody can just take their thumb and rip through and kind of get a feel for the property. But once somebody says, "Ooh, I like this,"
yeah,
and they really want to consume the content, that's when they are really hoping there's 3D. Yep. They are really hoping that there's video. You're going to leave them wanting too much, and maybe on the bottom of that list to go see the homes if you don't capture them with more than just photos. So that's why I think video is so important. So
yeah,
why do you think more agents don't do video? What is it?
Can I be honest?
We're all about honesty on this.
They're cheap.
Oh, okay. So it's a cost thing.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially with this market changing right now, you want to put your best foot forward, do the best you can on marketing.
No doubt.
So, with the market changing, video I think is going to be even bigger because you're going to want to have that house exposed even more to different sites and everything.
I think you're right.
Because you want to stand out versus, say, Joe Schmo with the other listing that might be almost the identical house, right, but you want to stand out a little bit more than that other listing.
You do. I think. I think right now, agents are still they're kind of lost in that fog of, I have a nice listing, I can take a picture of my shoes and still sell the house, right?
Right.
Well, you cannot do that now.
No.
You need that listing to stand out to get the traffic, and video is a great way to do that. Yeah. So I think they're stuck in that, I don't really need video.
Right.
I don't. For me, it's been a part of my business model. It's part of my listing presentation. It's part of what we do as a team. It's what we offer our agents as a team. Every agent on my team knows that when they bring a listing, they can tell their seller, look at all the stuff that we do, that my team does for us. And video is a big part of that. So even though it was completely unnecessary to do video just 6 months ago, we were still doing them. And we were doing them because it's part of our business model.
Right.
It's what we do, And I want our listings. We are told time and time and time again that when people see our listings out there, they know before they even scroll down and see who's listed the property, they know it's one of ours. Because They know it's got 3D. They know it has, video, good photos, things like that. So I think it's really important. So let's talk about photos. I mean, obviously, I'm big on video. Photos are huge. What do you do that in your opinion, makes you stand out a little more than the average Joe photographer when it comes to just photos only?
I mean, I definitely would say the overall coloration of the photos, I think, at least mine, look almost identical to what the house looks like. Mm-hmm. I don't over saturate. I don't overproduce them to make them look way different than the house.
Yeah.
So when people go in, they're like, wait, this looks nothing like the photos.
Right.
You want it to kind of represent what you're going to see.
Oh, for sure.
So I think that's the biggest thing when I started this. I wanted the photos to look exactly the way that the house looks.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you're one thing I noticed about your photos is that they're extremely clean, crystal clear. Without getting too technical, you get away with as low a ISO as you can.
Yes.
Right? So there's less noise.
Oh, yeah.
So even in darker rooms, I mean, we're talking about really sharp, really crystal clear images. And a lot of times I'll see photographers that might not know what they're doing, and you'll see their images and you'll look at the specs of a picture and they're like 10,000 ISO for that photo. Like, what? What happened? So you take a lot of pride in crystal clear, edge to edge, photography, which is important because it's very architectural digesty looking,
Right.
That is really important to me. And I would think it'd be important to sellers and buyers that are looking at homes to see a really crystal clean image.
Absolutely.
How important do you think it is when it comes to composition? Like, composition meaning, for those of you who don't do photography talk, it's the angle that you're choosing. It's the story you're telling with, like, for example, if you're listening on the podcast, excuse me, you won't understand this, but I have a tree right here, right? So I can move around. They're not going to see the tree, but those of you on Facebook and YouTube, you can see what I'm doing. So if you have a tree, like if you just move this tree out of the way and take a picture of the room, that's one thing. But if you have a little bit of that tree in the foreground and you're playing that off of, the overall style of the photo, that's an example of how you composed that shot. How important do you think that is in photography? Well, but not, of course it's important but in real estate photography.
I mean, overall, I think it's definitely important because, I mean, I look at photos all the time just of competition or other people that are doing it. Yeah. And I'm like,
you do that a lot, huh?
Head scratching sometimes. Yeah. I'm like, why did you do that sort of angle or whatever?
Yeah.
You want to, like I said earlier, you want to represent the house the best it can. So you want to choose those angles that will look the best.
Right.
Now, overall, I tend to overshoot.
Yeah.
I mean, people do that all the time, but I like to at least give my clients every angle that I think would look good.
You're not just giving two angles in a room.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So just because people like to see different, like what's, across the room, what's in the other room, vice versa.
Yeah.
So just giving them options, at least to choose from, I think is important as well.
That's cool. I know when I shoot video, I like to do a nice establishment shot of the room, maybe just kind of coming into the room. And then inevitably there's something in that room that stands out. And that's when I'll get a shot of that with a lot of compression, maybe like 85 millimeter, even, I guess what it worked out for me, it was like 88 millimeters with my crop sensor and my
55.
And that 55 millimeter on a crop sensor. So we called that the butter maker because it just, I could shoot at 1.8 and it would just look so bad. So there's certain things in that room that I would capture in addition to the wide angles. And so the few times I've actually taken photos of my own listings, which I don't like to do, but when I do, I found myself doing that, and I got a lot of street cred for doing it. Okay. So I would take a picture of the room from the corners so everyone could see, And then there were a few elements in that room that looked really cool. Okay. I'm not talking about furniture, but just maybe like they had some wainscot or something like that just really was standing out. Just get a buttery, shallow depth of field shot of that, you know?
Yeah.
And I would incorporate in the kitchen, for example. I would get like, show that this, you know, had a beautiful kitchen with great appliances. And I would get a really shallow depth of field shot of, you know, just the burner.
Right.
You know, so people could see that it's made by Wolf or something like that. You know what I mean? And so because as a photographer, that's the B-roll.
Yep.
So those are like B-roll photos.
Yeah.
And when I incorporated those in the listing, I got a lot of compliments on that. But to me, it was just like, well, it felt natural because that's how I do video.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
But so I do think composition really helps to tell that story. That's really, really important. So let's talk about 3D. I mean, that's another thing you offer.
Yeah.
You said Matterport. Is that a ride at Disneyland?
Yes.
Great. That's good. Let's go ride the Matterport.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. People don't do it very often, especially in our area. I think it's the times I've done it are on really high, extreme, like luxury listings.
Okay.
Are really good for them. $1 million plus kind of stuff.
So for those that are listening that don't know what that is, Matterport is a company that's probably the leaders, right, in 3D.
I think it's like the biggest one that can do that kind of stuff. Yeah.
You actually are you have a special camera that can take photos in every direction. And for just to make it quick and simple and dirty and easy to understand, it stitches them all together so that later on you can go into that room and you can kind of zoom around the room and look at the whole room, up, down, everything, because that photo is being taken. You know, there's so many photos being taken. It's hundreds, right, per room?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Hundreds of photos up and down everywhere, and then it just sort of memorializes it in the name of whatever that room is, and then you can go back and look at every angle of the room. So I think that was really important during COVID.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was.
Because people wanted to social distance more than 6 feet. Like they wanted to sometimes be 60 miles, which is crazy. But with Matterport or with any type of 3D system, you can go tour that house and you don't have to be anywhere near the virus, right? So that was really important. I've never been a fan of it. We do it mostly because Zillow, we want our properties to syndicate and look really robust on Zillow, and they have a tab for that. So if we do that, before they came a brokerage, now they're just strict IDX. But before then, they had more control of what their listings looked like, and so for that reason, we had to do 3D because it gave us more visibility on their platform. Doesn't anymore.
Oh, really?
No, it doesn't anymore.
It still shows Zillow 3D like on the tab.
It will. And some people naturally will just go to look at the properties that have the most content. Yeah. So it's still important. But I think it's good that you do that because, I firmly believe, and that's why you're here, is because, we do it. Every single listing gets 3D, video, great photos, multiple landing pages, squeeze pages, click funnels, all of that stuff. And it's important to do that. And I want you here because I want the world to know that you do it and you do it very, very well. And so you can be a resource for agents that are kind of wondering, I guess I got to hire this 3D guy, and then I got to hire a photo guy.
Right.
Maybe I'll try to do a video myself. But if you're combining, you're going to do all of it. Your prices are pretty fair, right? You're less than $700,000 for a property. That's
600,000.
600. This week only with this promo code.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you to give your pricing, but wouldn't you say that you're definitely not the cheapest? I know you're not. I know you're definitely nowhere near the most expensive.
No.
You're kind of in that middle range of pricing.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I keep an eye on my competitors' quality and everything too. Yeah. So I kind of look at my quality, compare with others, and then look at their pricing because I always like to ask them too.
Yeah.
Especially with inflation. But, I mean, I haven't really increased my prices this year, which everyone's like, wow, really?
Yeah. No, you haven't actually.
No.
That's right.
So, I mean, But I do that because, especially like you're loyal. You use me for everything.
Yeah.
So
you're going to keep your prices down and really kind of probably lag a little bit on your increases to your really loyal clients.
Absolutely.
And I would hope that too, because I feel like, quite honestly, I should get a little special treatment because I kind of I support you.
Yeah.
I give you lots of referrals. I kind of helped you get along, not in photography, but in videography. I kind of got you there a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that, you'll give me at least a little bit of like, okay, I got this guy. I'll take Bryan's deal.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry, sir, you're going to have to wait an extra day. So 'cause sometimes you're hard to book. Right now it's a little easier because the market has shifted. But in a normal market, you're pretty slammed.
Yeah.
And that's good. I mean, and there were times because I believe in you, and I believe in you as a small businessman, and not a small businessman, but a small business man.
Right.
And so I like to support you. And so when there were times that I would call you and you'd say, oh man, I can't, I'm 2 weeks out. And I'd be so bummed, but I would also be so stoked because that's a good thing,
Yeah.
And so I'm really proud of you. You've come a long way.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I mean that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to edit this part out. I love you, man. I do.
I love you too.
Yeah.
Cool.
So anyway, do you think there's anything else we need to cover? I mean, I really just wanted our audience to kind of get a feel for, why it's important to have good photography, video, 3D, your thought process about, making sure the quality's there and storytelling and things like that, how important it is. Anything you think you should add to this?
Yeah, I mean, definitely with the changing market, I know for some reason some agents, don't feel like it's still necessary for at least professional photos. And they're using cell phone photos still. I say to those agents, it's like with the market changing, you're not going to get the visibility that other people are getting. And for a small fraction, because on average of, say, 2,500 square feet and less home, it's only $185 for me to come out and shoot photos for a house.
$185.
That's it.
That's ridiculous.
So
that's a 2,500 square foot home.
Yeah.
That is an incredible price.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I didn't know it was that low, actually.
Well, that's just photos, but yeah.
Yeah, I know, but wow. So a 2,500 square foot home, I mean, again, you can't hold it to these prices, but right now, so if you're doing that for $185, you do 3D and video and everything, what's the average price on that right now?
$515.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, I mean, there's almost no excuse not to do it. And don't you want to elevate your game?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. You spend $500 to get all of that good media out there. Then you bring that to your next listing.
Yep.
And you say, here's what you can expect when I market your home. And then you learn how to put it on the different channels and really take a multimedia approach to the marketing of that home. Then you've got those assets out there as social proof on how you know how to market and list a home. And that's another thing we can talk about. It'd be a little bit of a squirrel, but how many agents don't even know what to do? You give them a good video, you give them good photos, you give them a 3D, and they don't know what to do with it.
Nope.
They might put it on their Facebook and say, hey, check this out. But
half the agents that I do stuff for don't know what they're doing with it.
They don't know what to do. It is crazy because if you just take the time to learn how you can leverage YouTube on those videos, how you can take your CRM and get that video out there. I mean, when you provide the video, I will usually chop it up into different bite-sized pieces. Like I'll make a YouTube short out of it.
Okay.
I'll make a reel out of it. Most of the time they're the same. I just different platforms. I'm going to make just a highlight reel, speed it up, change the song, do a bunch of things like that. Now, I mean, that's more advanced because I can do that, but you could still provide that for people, right? For a small extra fee.
Yeah.
And then they can leverage all of those channels to get so much more visibility on their property. I mean, we have a database of about 20,000 people. Every time we list a home, I literally put the link from YouTube. I go to the advanced settings in my CRM, which we're using KV Core, and I put that out to the entire database just so they can see, oh, by the way, here's a new listing. If you know anyone that's looking for something like this, I'm not saying, hey, look at this great video. I'm saying, here's a new listing. What's happening is I'm marketing in front of them, not marketing to them. And they're seeing, wow, they're really doing a lot of cool, that's a great video. Ooh, beautiful photos.
Right.
And so at the very least, we're getting it out to a ton of people there just to get the word out, plus social media, plus, YouTube, and, all the other things that we do for landing pages and ClickFunnels and things like that. So maybe you should expand into that so you can teach some of these agents how to do that. Or better yet, call me. I'll teach you. I mean, we love to give actionable content on this podcast. So if you're an agent out there that's listening to this thinking, well, yeah, I can do good photos and video and all that stuff, but then I don't really know what to do with it.
Right.
Please reach out to me. I'm very easy to get a hold of. I can spend probably 1 hour with you on a Zoom call, that agent, and probably get them from 0 to 5.
Right.
And then another maybe hour or so, a few days later after they've implemented a couple of things, get them running on all cylinders. 0 to 10 in probably 2 1-hour sessions on a Zoom, and I will do it for free. I will help them for free.
Wow.
I mean, hey.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. Wait, there's more. I might add a 9-piece cutlery set to that.
Ooh, all right.
So, all right. Well, look, thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it. I'm sure everyone got a couple of nuggets out of this. If you'd like to get a hold of Jason Abadie, his information is in the description below. I guess we'll call this a wrap.
Cool.
Thanks for being here,
wrap
buddy.
it.
We'll catch you on the next one.
Hey, wait, before you go, I wanted to quickly thank you for tuning in to the Auer Team Podcast. And whether you're listening on Facebook Live or you're tuning in on YouTube or maybe listening to a podcast, I wanted to just say, if you found any value in this, would you please take the time to like and subscribe? And if you leave a comment, that really helps the show as well. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you on the next one.